Hello and welcome to the Call Analytics Podcast. This is Andre with PBX Dom. PBX Dom is a call analytics and reporting tool that monitors your phone communications, sends smart alerts when you need them, and provides you valuable intelligence to improve your company's responsiveness. PBX Dom has users in over 50 countries and helps them stay informed and make smart business decisions. This episode is in the Call Analytics Master Series, where we focus on important call analytics concepts and terms. So what causes abandoned calls? It's a few reasons, actually. Let's take a look. An abandoned call is a call that goes unanswered. It's a missed opportunity before any conversation with the customer. It's necessary to use strategies to decrease the call abandonment rate in your company. A study by American Express found that the maximum amount of time callers were willing to wait was 13 minutes. Another study done 3 years later by Arise found that 2/3 of consumers would accept hold times of less than 2 minutes. 13% that no hold times at all were acceptable. PBX Dom users have access to the real-time queue status widget. It's great because it gives you access to caller ID info and helps you monitor wait times to reduce those at your company. Another reason for high abandoned call rates, unsatisfactory responses. So this would be if your agent picks up a call and the customer is not happy with the response that they get. So when the customer calls back, they're less likely to stay on the line because they may not feel they're going to get the answer. This can be solved by some proper staff training and engagement to reduce the numbers. Also, you can review calls with your staff in order to address this issue. Another thing you want to monitor is the entry process. How complicated is it? So if you have complicated entry processes, there may be pain points that are causing your customers to abandon calls. Also, by monitoring these processes, the abandoned call rate can direct you to areas of the processes that need the most attention. So you always want to make sure that you're monitoring your abandoned call rates. PBX Dom, for example, has a number of widgets that help you keep track of those numbers. Okay, so let's look at some ways to lower and maintain the call abandonment rate. If a caller decided that it was taking too long to get an answer, that caller may decide to seek answers through different means. Call duration is affected by many factors, such as call handle times or agents dealing with multiple calls simultaneously. It's important to know how long customers are waiting and how much time they're spending on calls. I want to give you a quick rundown of some of the widgets that we have here at PBX Dom for handling these issues. So first, you can use the average time before group of widgets to monitor how long your customers are staying on calls. Then you can use the average time before hang up widget. It lets you know how long your customers are waiting before they hang up. Whereas the average time before answer widgets lets you know how long they had to wait before you answered them. Also important is speed to answer. Companies should aim for 30 seconds or less. Speed to answer is the time it takes from the time your customer called and entered your phone system to the time the customer's call was answered. Routing your calls to the proper agents is a good way to reduce that number. And here we're looking at the average handle time widget. It lets you know how long your employees are on calls with customers, and training can be given to impact these numbers. Another factor to consider is that call abandonment rates are higher if a caller has not gotten their desired resolution on their first call. So as I mentioned before, you need to improve the first call with the client. Otherwise, the next time they call, they may not be willing to stay on the line. And finally, we have the frequent caller widget. So this can let you know which of your customers are calling multiple times. And if you can catch them on an earlier call, make sure their problems are getting resolved. That can definitely improve your call abandonment rates. There are numerous other issues that lead to high abandonment rates that companies experience. Long call queuing times don't tell the entire story. The reality paints a much more complex picture. Hiring the right amount of staff, having proper training procedures, and equipment are a great start to lowering rates. And finally, remember to use the proper tools to better understand the current situation of your company. All right, that concludes the Abandon Call Rate series. I hope you enjoyed it. We have some more interesting podcasts coming up. Please send any questions, feedback, or suggestions for future topics to podcast@pbxdom.com. Thanks for watching the Call Analytics Podcast, and I will see you in the next episode.